Hello, listeners. This is Lee Price.
This is Will Ford from Football 365.
And you're listening smartly to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast, although I would describe it as the Chelsea FC podcast.
Magical from Eden Hazard. Kai Havertz in the Champions League final. Ivanovic! Yes. In the middle, it's just behind him. But it's tapped in by Hakim Ziyech. Matic with the ball driver. Matic takes the net off. Hat-trick hero. Cole Palmer wins an epic, sensational game.
It's time for another episode of At the Bridge Pod, your number one Chelsea FC podcast. Coming up on this episode, Chelsea are 4-1 up, Nicolas Jackson scores a worldie, and the Chelsea women are six-time WSL champions. Oh, welcome back everyone to another episode of At the Bridge Pod, and I am joined in the virtual room filled with one person turned up today. But I know listeners are there going, who is it? Who is it? It's Chris. We got Chris. He wasn't here last time, but he's here now. The Barcelona result just took it out of him. It just took it out of him.
I still haven't recovered.
I don't think I'm not. I've had a reason with the women's team to feel a bit happier since that Sunday showing. What are you looking forward to this weekend though?
What am I doing this weekend? So I don't think I've got anything majorly on this weekend.
A quiet one?
No, yeah, just quite a quiet one. I'm doing an Ollie.
Wow. Well, Ollie is literally having a quiet one. So quiet you can't hear him.
Yes, is it?
3-day weekend here in the UK as well. You know, it's been nice weather. Two things are happening for me. I'm going to make a nice tray of blondies, and I'm celebrating
nice.
my girlfriend's birthday on Sunday. So obviously, I'm very happy. I'm very content with what I'm going to be up to this weekend.
Are you prepared for it?
Yes, I actually have. I actually have really prepared.
Yes, good.
I've got to wrap some gifts first. But yeah, I'm prepared. And I know listeners are there. They're chanting away. They're not chanting for the blondies recipe, but they are chanting for my games of the weekend. And I do have Mike's picks. All times are GMT. They always are. 12:30 Saturday afternoon. Yeah, it is. Lunchtime. Final round of the championship. And every single game kicks off at the same time. Plymouth are all but relegated on goal difference. Don't need to worry about them. But there's one actual drop spot up for grabs. 5 teams could fall into it. You got at the top Burnley and Leeds neck and neck. Who's going to hit 100 points? Could be both of them. Who's going to win the trophy? My game of choice, though. Come on. Coventry City versus Middlesbrough. Frank Lampard, Michael Carrick. The winner likely books their place in the playoffs. I had to pick it, and I really hope Super Frank does it. I really do. That'd be amazing.
They had a really poor result, didn't they, against Plymouth? Was it Plymouth?
I know.
They lost to?
I don't know if it was Plymouth. That is absolutely fucking.
It was someone in the relegation zone. I know that. And you thought, oh, that's poor because that would have secured them the playoffs, I think.
Let's have a look. Who did they lose to? Back to back, lost to Luton and Plymouth. What are you doing, Frank? For fuck's sake!
That's poor, isn't it?
Plymouth,
really bad.
Oh, you might as well have lost to Cardiff. Come on. One thing though, Saturday 4 p.m. So after that all's finished, Ligue 1, Strasbourg take on PSG. The Parisians they've wrapped up the title. They can't go unbeaten though. So, but they can't go unbeaten. So expect a second string 11 as they focus on obviously the Champions League second leg. Strasbourg is still in the mix for a European spot, and it's close between Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League over there. So that's something to everything to play for. And Sunday, it's a big one in Scotland. You've got the Old Firm derby, Rangers and Celtic. In the WSL, you've got the Manchester derby. Come on. And then at 5 p.m, you've got Roma facing Fiorentina, which again, huge for European qualification. And finishing the weekend at 8 p.m, Basque derby, Sociedad versus Athletic Bilbao. Oh, honestly, the amount of derbies on this weekend. I'm just saying. So
that's the football coming up. Watch it. Watch the football. Watch it. It's going to move. Watch the football. It's football.
Oh, I don't know which one I'm going to watch. I'm probably going to have no time for any of it. But that looks so. It just looks so good. The derby games. And we're playing Spurs, aren't we? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Chelsea women are playing Spurs. I feel like that was our next fixture.
Yeah.
It wasn't. Was it Liverpool or Spurs?
No, Liverpool's last game of the season.
Yes,
I should have been going.
Yeah,
but I can't now. I've actually brought tickets as well, and I can't go now.
Oh, dear. Oh, Chris, that's not good.
No.
What is good?
Stupid half 12 kickoff.
Oh, shit. Okay, good point. Oh, Shevva shoutouts. So, from Monday, what have we got? Well, Forbit, the problem with Chelsea's women is the same it's been with the men's for years, and medical staff simply aren't it. Germa not only fresh to the squad, but fresh from injury. James Bright, squad is thin as paper, so towards the end of the season, we've had players that have played 90+% of games available. Got a good point there, actually. I keep saying, how many times have I said, give Millie a rest? Yeah, I know it does not help it. And the Naomi Germa thing, yeah, she had a calf injury. As soon as she was it did feel like, as soon as she was able to walk to the bench, we went, player. It's like, we don't need to do that.
I don't think our squad's thin, though. It is because of the injuries, but I mean, in general, it's really not. Like, we have a lot of good players for each position.
Yeah,
it's just we do seem to have had I think the problem with the women's team's been when we get an injury, it's like a season ender. It's not. Oh, it's not 2 weeks. It's 4 months.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
We've been without me official for pretty much the whole of the season. Sam Kerr hasn't played.
Yeah.
We lost, obviously, Hannah Hampton's a goalkeeper, so you can kind of have some leeway with playing every minute. Obviously, she's now playing every minute since Musovic obviously took her maternity leave.
Sophie Ingle's been injured all season as well, hasn't she?
Yeah, it is sad. It is sad because we've got such a good team, but of course, you can only that's the thing. You're right. It's season enders, and I don't even want to think how many players have got ACL tears. I hadn't seen any news about Maya Ramirez, which we'll touch on in the actual review.
Yeah,
I
haven't either.
Oh, there is. I'll talk about it. I've got the update on the Chelsea page from 4 hours ago, so we'll talk about that in a minute. I'll carry on with the Shevva shoutouts though. Jamali Smith, thoughts on the links to Morgan Rogers? Do we need him? Is my question.
It's bollocks anyway. It just won't happen. Villa won't sell. Villa won't sell.
They sold to us last season.
I don't think we'll pay. And where does he play?
We don't need to worry about that. We don't buy players to fit the system. We buy players because we can buy them and then go, this guy's shit. He doesn't play the way we want him to. Yeah, but he doesn't. It doesn't matter. We're very good at it. Tank. Oh, already love this. Jalen Milrow is a dog. Great mentality, but a very raw prospect. Will take a year or two before he reaches any sort of potential. Alabama fan, born and raised, happy. Nico scored. Love the show. What do we think of Tottenham? Shit. Of course. Chris, that was the Seahawks player we drafted, by the way, Jalen Milrow.
Was it that? Yeah. I think he's brilliant as well. He's probably my favourite player.
He's spoken like a true fan. L House. Oh, you could tell they must have known we were going to be on. Honestly, Mikey and Chris have the immune system equivalent of Reece and Lavia's legs fitness. Only jokes, lads. When you're fit, you're class like they are.
True though. Yeah. He's absolutely right.
Yeah, it's not been a good. Everyone knows it's not been a great year for my health. It's getting better. It's good though. It's good now. And KP, was Chris sad we won versus Everton? Bloody hell, you're copying it, aren't you?
Well, no, I'm not. I'm never sad when we win.
You booed when we and the whistle went. I know.
I hate the overreaction. That's what annoys me.
That's fair. That is fair. Right. Obviously, before we do head to the news, we just want to pay tribute to Paul Langan, who was known. Some of you may know him, or most likely knew him as CFC Journo. He sadly passed away after a short illness this week, and he was a very, very well loved and respected member of the Chelsea and the journalism community. And I've seen so much outpouring of love about him, and yeah, I thought it was just right to pay tribute to him, and our thoughts and love go out to his friends and family at this time. Right, with that, we are going to hit the news. It's that time of the week we get to check out the news you may have missed in the elevator of Chelsea news. Reports on Chelsea being close to signing Jamie Gittins are slightly premature. Real Madrid are in the market for a midfielder and have tracked Enzo Fernandez. Chelsea sources insist he's going nowhere. Chelsea have agreed a new long-term global partnership with Dubai-headquartered DAMAC Properties, which becomes the official property development partner. They will also feature on the club's front shirt for the rest of the season. Chelsea are interested in Nico Williams, but his representatives are demanding £400,000 per week. Chelsea are targeting Aston Villa's Morgan Rogers. Chelsea's 25-26 home kit was spotted for sale in a USA sports store. And finally, Arsenal displayed what might just be the worst tifo you will ever see in your life ahead of a very important Champions League semi-final. Honestly, it would have been better if they just hadn't bothered at all, in my opinion. It's just a JPEG
100%.
of the cannon. I was like, really? Fuck off. Like, there's no effort in that at all. Like, that's the whole point of a tifo. It's meant to display what you're about. And if that's true, you're bland. That's what you've just said.
Yeah. That's but that does sum them up at the moment, I think.
I wouldn't disagree. I did, you know what? I was going to touch on one thing I saw, and it was only from today, and that's Enzo Maresca believes Chelsea should consider signing some more experienced players this summer to help bridge that gap between us and Liverpool. Honestly, you know what? When I read that,
that's
I was
the first thing he said in ages. I agree with.
You know what, Chris? I'm nodding and agree. You know what? I was like, Mr. Maresca, I'd like to apologise because I wasn't familiar with your game, because that's the kind of talk fans want to hear. And you've been listening to our episodes and gone, you know what? I'm going to try and build that connection with the fan base, like Mike said on the previous episode. Trouble is, for me, here's the catch. We heard the exact same thing from Poch last season. And what did our owners do? We decided we needed another round of Wonder Kids and sacked him. Yeah. And then you look at our summer targets that we know we're linked with, like heavily to suggest that they're main targets. Gittins, Delap, Howson, who they have the average age, which is barely legal to rent a car. That doesn't scream experience, does it?
No, it doesn't. I don't think they'll change the policy. I really don't. I think the only way we get experienced players is if they are dirt cheap, like we did with Tosin on a free, where it doesn't matter that they're not going to increase in value. I think the whole model behind our transfer targets now is increasing value, which you don't get if you sign someone who's 28, 29. They're not going to go up in value. They're either going to stay the same or they're going to decrease. So the only way we sign experience, I think, is if an opportunity comes up with a free agent or someone in the last year of their contract where you can get them, for a minimal fee, a bit like we're doing with Sancho, sort of 25 million, that sort of area. Outside of that, I just can't see it happening. It will be like targets, like you've just said. It'll be players who they'll come in and they'll be inconsistent because they're young and they're still learning and they're not ready to elevate the team. And that's the major concern going into next season.
That's the thing. I'm not knocking any of the players. I mean, Dean Howson, love that signing. Jamie Gittins, I'm kind of on the fence with. I don't see why we need him. And Liam Delap, you know what? For the money he's on, the release fee. Yeah, it's a shrug. It's a why not? What you'd easily sell him for profit if it turned shit. So I don't mind that. But we need as well. It's not just a matter of getting experienced players in, because Tosin is an example of that. We need quality experience that improves the team. Not just
that's the difference.
He's all right. He's 28. No, is he 28 and going to walk into the team? I want to know that question.
Yeah,
the answer to
exactly.
that. So we'll wait and see on that.
The one thing.
Go on.
Sorry. I mean, I suppose it links to about the shirt sponsor. The whole thing about next season's shirt being seen in a sports store in the States. Why are they even being manufactured yet before the club's even done the announcement of this is our kit?
I have got a feeling they might have bought a shipment from a particular website and then it's just been seen. We see it all the time. There's, oh, look, I've got the kit. And you think,
Yeah.
Where
It's
did
weird though, isn't it? Like I think because you see that now every season with every club, their kit is on sale somewhere, either the US or Thailand or, you know, somewhere like that, Burma, really random places. And you think, who's made that? Because the club haven't even said this is our kit yet. Surely it shouldn't be even manufactured until the club have, done their little video or whatever they're going to do about it.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I was looking. Apparently, I don't know how accurate this is. When I saw that DAMAC or DA, I don't know how you say it. When I saw it, I was very taken aback that we got a shirt sponsor. I've
Yeah.
only found one source, and it's not reliable, listen, so it's not an exclusive. Apparently, they're paying us 5 million for the remainder of the season to have that. That's the only source I could find. It's one person on Twitter. I don't know if it's real. They're based in Dubai, so I'm sort of the opinion that it possibly is true. I don't know. The thing is, though, we were holding out for this 40, 50, 60 million pound sponsorship, and when at the end of the season went, yeah, do we need a property development sponsor? I don't really think so. The club seem to think we do. We get some really random stuff like, oh, there are official property development. There was an official Bitcoin, and I'm just like, why do we need all this? No one. I don't think I've never looked at a sponsorship deal with Chelsea and gone, oh, I need like Caribou. I've never had a Caribou in my life. I don't want one. I don't see it on the
No,
shirt and
that's
go, I want that. DAMAC. I've literally, if I didn't read what I've just read about them being I wouldn't know who they are. I wouldn't
No,
know.
but at
Yokohama
least their
Tigers. I know what they are.
yeah, at least their logo's nice though.
Yes, that is. I
At
do
least it
like it on
wasn't.
the shirt.
At least it wasn't another 3 situation.
Yeah, that was quite something, wasn't it? That was quite something. Right. Well, we're going to head to Kingsmeadow Corner because Chelsea took on Manchester United in the WSL. And they're champions for the 6th season in a row. Historic, iconic. And I was going to use the audio commentary from that game. It was very subdued. I've listened to it and I was like, I'm not going to include that in the show because and Chelsea have won. And you just hear Man United fans booing. So it's like, screw them. Look, what were your takeaways from a game that we didn't expect to be a title decider?
No, well, it was a bit of a shocker with the Arsenal getting absolutely annihilated by Villa in the earlier game.
Yeah.
Which came from out of nowhere. We was pretty shit though in this game.
First half,
Not gonna
maybe.
lie, like it wasn't a good performance, but found a way to win, and ultimately that's all. I actually think the Arsenal result affected our performance. I think it's hard going into a game knowing that you only need a draw to be champions, because you almost get stuck between, do we want to win the game or do we just not lose it? Because you want to get it wrapped up that night. So you're thinking, well, because all the preparation would have been, we've got to win this game because Arsenal will probably beat Villa. So we're going to win. We go there to win. It's all about winning the game. Then the Arsenal result comes through and you think, well, actually, we only need a draw now. And even subconsciously, it affects your mentality. So I do think that played a part. Yeah, Man United aren't a poor team either. Like, away from home, they've had a really, really good season. Game of goalkeepers, though, wasn't it? Let's be fair.
Oh, yeah.
Both goalkeepers outstanding in the respective goals. Just the Man United one made a mistake from the corner, and Hampton didn't make a mistake. I think that really it was ultimately what decided the game.
Hampton was good. She was so down. Look, for me, obviously, I'm just overjoyed about the WSL title. I will do my season reflections for a future episode once the actual campaign is wrapped up properly. We just weren't expecting this. That's the thing. If we're real, the fact that we're even talking about a 6th consecutive title because of an almighty collapse from Barcelona in the afternoon is just wild to me. The fact that we've done 6 in a row. I mean, come on. I know Sonia is incredible and a great manager. However, still a new manager coming into a team that's had one manager for how long? And the thing is, doesn't guarantee just because she won titles in France that she's going to walk in and win titles with us.
Exactly.
Never guarantees it, especially
And
with
you
the
know what?
competitiveness as well this year with Man United.
And you look at the last couple of title wins under Emma Hayes, they was tight. Was
Last year especially.
Pushed all the way. So it's not like going to PSG where it's a given that you win the league.
Yeah.
Like it's still a difficult league to win. I seen someone online compare it to if David Moyes had won the Premier League following on from Alex Ferguson. What an achievement it would have been. And it is like that. Like for Sonia to come in and continue the standards that Emma Hayes set. Obviously, the foundation was there of a really good team with a fantastic mentality. But she's come in and she's introduced new ideas. And I think they said it in commentary, which I thought was a really, really good point. The best thing she's done is she hasn't come in and made wholesale changes. She hasn't walked in the door with a massive ego and gone, no. We play football my way. And we're going to do it like this. And you do it like this or you don't play for me. She's come in and it's been like a very soft approach, easing in her style of play. And I think you've seen that as the season's gone on, our style of play has changed. And I think that's why second half of the season, I think she's tried to introduce it more, which is why we've looked a little bit more disjointed, while we're trying to really get to grips with what she wants. I thought the first half of the season was like, it was a mixture between the way Emma Hayes played and sort of minor introductions that Sonia wanted to do. Second half of the season has been a lot more her style of football, which the players have taken some time to adapt to.
Yeah.
But I think she's done an unbelievable job. To come in and win the league as well with games to spare and to potentially go unbeaten. Like and to win the Conti Cup and to potentially win the FA Cup. Like, you couldn't have asked for any more. I know we wanted the Champions League and I know that semi-final was a massive disappointment. But realistically, you couldn't have said to her in the summer, I want you to win the WSL unbeaten with games to spare, win both cups and the Champions League, please. It's just unrealistic. I know that was the aim because that's what top teams do. They set almost unassailable targets because that's what winners do. But in a realistic way, when you actually sit down and review the season, it's unbelievable what she's managed to do and the team.
I can't remember what I said about I said something along the lines of, what if we didn't win the Champions League or got to the final, it might be disappointing. We've got other trophies. That's the thing. We haven't just won the WSL. So it's one of those. The thing, like I said, it shocked. The fact that Arsenal, they travelled to Villa, second from bottom, by the way, already safe, nothing left to play for. And Villa tore them to pieces. They were 4-0 up by the 59th minute. The game finished obviously 5-2. They dismantled them. And yes, I know Villa did, they come on the back of wins over Spurs and Liverpool. So you could say they had momentum. But Arsenal, this was an Arsenal side that hadn't lost in the WSL since we beat them back in January. And I genuinely just chalked this up as a routine 3 points. I didn't think, we could win the game tonight. No, we could win the title. I just thought that Arsenal will win. And that's it. So when I found out the score through Discord, I was just like, what the fuck? That is the biggest shocking result in the WSL this season for me. Out of nowhere. And Chelsea,
especially when you consider Arsenal knew they had to win.
Yeah, this isn't like we could.
Weren't a dead rubber.
No,
like they knew they had to win, otherwise we would win the league.
Yeah, and obviously Chelsea on your hand, they had to deal with that pressure, didn't they? As you said, expectation away in Manchester. I think we handled it professionally is probably appropriate. The first half wasn't great. It was flat. It was quite flat. I watched it with my girlfriend and I was just not impressed. It was so flat. And obviously losing Myra Ramirez to possible knee injury was a huge blow, especially with the FA Cup final looming. And I'm saying that let's look at the news. They said, Bumper Store had a positive update during a pre-match press conference ahead of Sunday's trip to Spurs. She said, she came to Cobham today. I spoke to her. We're not really concerned. She's just feeling a small pain in the front of her knee. So she's okay. I think she will need some days for it to settle down with the pain. But I'm not too concerned. I think she could be available for the last days of the season. But she said, think. she said, think, knees, that's the problem. We see knee injuries now. And when she pulled up, I just thought, is that an ACL? You don't usually jog on an ACL, if I'm honest. I know.
No, but it has been known that there have been players who have played on after an ACL.
That is true.
And then it's like, so you think, oh, that they must be all right, and then you find out after the game, oh, she did have ACL, by the way.
Yeah. Right. Second half though, much better for me. Standout player Naomi Girma, not even close. She was commanding, she was composed, and she just showed exactly why we paid a record fee. I've got some stats. They're not quite stat drop level. 4 blocks, 6 clearances, 3 headed clearances, 14 defensive actions, 6 recoveries, no one dribble past her. That was elite level. No shot.
She will only get better next season.
100%. Hannah Hampton, you said earlier about goalkeepers deciding the game. Solid game. Great double save as well. Oh, yeah. Oh my word, what a save. And then obviously other people I want to give flowers to, Gura Wrighton, Macario and Hamano. They were quite good up front. They linked up quite well. Got a flow going in the game. Lucy Bronze obviously rose up, buried the pinpoint header, title sealed, 6 in a row. And now it's sealed. Can we give Millie Bright a rest, please? I can't believe she played after having ice on her knee from the other. I was convinced that was it. I just was convinced she's not playing the next game. She turns up, plays, is brilliant, standard.
Oh, yeah. There is something to address from this game as well, though. Well, sort of aftermath, I think.
Go on.
There's been a lot of talk about Chelsea winning 6 titles in a row is bad for the women's game. For which I can see the argument. It'd be the same if a team won the Premier League 6 years in a row. You'd think, fucking hell, it's not good for the league, this. And I don't think it ever is brilliant for a league when one team dominates and wins that many titles in a row. But the presenter on Sky Sports after the game made a really good point to the other people on there. When they was talking about a similar thing in terms of, Chelsea winning 6 in a row and what does it do for the women's game. And she made a really good point saying that the one way to look at it is, yes, they are ruining the league. But another way to look at it is actually we're like a driving force to get other clubs to invest money in their women's team. It's not our fault that we invest more in our women's team than anyone else.
That is the thing.
It's their fault, and if Manchester City, Arsenal, Man United, if they want to catch us now, then they're going to have to invest more money in the women's game. There's no two ways about it, because if they don't, we'll win 7, 8, 9, 10, because that's what it'll be. And I think surely that for where the women's game is right now is only a positive. If we can try and force other clubs to invest more, and it brings the standard of those teams up as well, then that's only a good thing, isn't it? Surely.
You know what?
And if they don't know, it will be a problem.
You know what?
If we go on and win 10 in a row, it's a problem.
I'll tell you what is bad for the women's game. And I've got to call them out. I have to do it, as they are my local team, but I'll call them out. Wolves. I don't know if you saw. I'm calling it out because they obviously that you would say, but Mike, they didn't get promoted to the Championship. No, they didn't. You're right. They missed out.
They wouldn't have done either way.
However, that is the thing, Chris. They found out before that game, knowing if they were going to win, they could obviously potentially get promotion. The club never finished the paperwork, and that was because the Wolves chairman, Jeff Shee, was unhappy with the terms that came with the license structure, which included funding, player contracts, commercial and medical requirements. They didn't feel it was cost effective. What he's just said is basically, we don't want to pay you. That's what it is. Because it sounds like they just do not want to pay full-time salaries. That is a disgrace. Your team have done so well to be in that position, to get promotion. They must be so chuffed and so hyped for girls, we can get promotion to the Championship and might even make another step to the WSL. And your owners have just gone, cost effective for us. Sorry.
Why have a women's team then?
Yeah, don't bother. If you're going to be that pathetic about it, don't bother.
They're having it because it's a box ticked. That's why.
I don't like it. I don't
as
like
horrible,
it.
Yeah, as horrible as that is, That's the reality, because something like that suggests that they're never going to invest to a point where they would have to treat them like a real team.
Yeah.
So they'll have them while it's minimal cost, and they can say, "Well, we've got a women's team. We really push our women's team." But until it actually happens, and then they're like, "Oh no, I'm not paying that. Fucking hell, no way." Like, I just think if they got promoted, I think they should have been forced to do it. I think that should be written into the contract.
It's just
When
such a
you're in
shitty
the
thing to
league,
do.
if you get promoted, you can't turn down going up because you don't want to put the money in. Don't be in the league then.
It's one of those where I look at it and go, every season now going forth is pointless. It doesn't matter if you get win the title or promote, because they don't want you. If I'm a Wolves player, I'm looking at other clubs to progress my career, because there's no point here. You don't care, and that's such a shame.
You wouldn't be shocked now though if they disbanded.
Which is even worse. But I hope the best for the players, and I hope that they go on to success in their careers. And it sucks for them. It sucks for the fans. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. So, midweek match report. Chelsea took on Djurgarden, I think it's pronounced. I should know Scandinavian, all that. Djurgarden.
It's Djurgarden, is it?
I don't. I've heard 3 people pronounce this differently.
I know. Who cares?
Whoa, Djurgarden. I will look it up whilst we're playing the clip. Anyway, we played them in the Conference League. Let's find out. On a night when the Conference League moon hung just right and Chelsea remembered their Chelsea. Enzo Maresca's side rolled into Stockholm and left Djurgarden wondering if the Europa Conference League had a mercy rule. It was a 4-goal party for the Blues. Guests of honour were Jadon Sancho, Noni Madueke, and suddenly a very much alive Nicolas Jackson, who netted a brace so casual you would think he'd been scoring all year. Enzo Fernandez delivered assists with the grace of a Michelin star waiter, and the cherry on top, a 16-year-old named Reggie Walsh making his debut and nearly scoring within 35 seconds. If that doesn't scream, we're feeling ourselves, I don't know what does. Meanwhile, Nottingham Forest did Chelsea a solid by face-planting at home against Brentford, meaning Maresca's men tighten their grip on 5th and maybe start side-eyeing the Champions League seats. Sure, Cole Palmer still couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat, but this night belonged to the Blues, a 4-1 win, a teenager almost scoring, and 1 foot already in the Warsaw final. Oh, Djurgarden won! I've just found out how to pronounce it, thanks to Google. Chelsea 4, winners and losers, and we kick off with the winners, as always. Who have you got and how many have you got?
I've got 3 and 3.
Same. And you know what? Even I'll tease my losers. There's only 1 major loser and 2 are just like little ones I felt to fill the time up.
On my losers list, I've only got 1 player.
Nice. You know what? I've got a feeling we've got the same. But I will start with my first winner. And I have to do the drop because
Nicolas Jackson.
Yeah, he's on mine as well.
2 goals in a single night. That's like giving Nicolas Jackson a double shot of espresso, because his confidence has now gone whoop. I mean, the first goal was odd. I mean, let's be honest. Jacob Rinn, not a real goalkeeper. He looked like he won a competition to be Djurgarden's goalkeeper for the game. But that second goal, oh my days. I said it in the Discord and I'll say it again louder for the people at the back. That was a top class goal. Top corner. I don't care if it's against Djurgarden. I don't care if it's against Accrington Stanley or the Dog and Pheasant Sunday League team. That's a top class goal in any game. The way he rolls it, the way he hits it, and he's not a left-footed player. And that's 3 goals in 2 games after he went missing since, mid-December. I know he was injured. I think this is going to be huge for him. I really do. I don't know what you're feeling.
Yeah, scoring goals for a striker it doesn't matter who they're against. Scoring breeds confidence, sharpness in front of goal. I think his second goal is the best goal he's ever scored.
Yes,
it's an unbelievable goal. Like the little ball roll to take it onto his weaker foot, and it's bouncing, and he's hit it so clean into the top corner. It's an unbelievable goal. And do you know what? It wasn't just his goals. It was the energy that he brought to the game as well. Like his first goal summed up the sort of energy and enthusiasm he brought to the game. Didn't give up on it. 100% going in there to try and score. And there was so many times he was closing down as well, like it was an FA Cup final. So, I just think he's looked over the last couple of games like he's got a point to prove again, and I think that's a good thing in a player when they look hungry to impress again.
Yeah.
I just thought I thought he was actually really good, even goals aside. I just thought like his presence in the game was excellent.
Yeah, let's be honest. We're a better team when he's in the team, and
Yeah.
look at the contrast. 2 games. Well, the last time we were in this competition, we were rightly so calling him out for being on his phone, and this time his focus was purely on the game. And I'm just, you know what, give him credit where it's due, because he was outstanding, and I'm really happy he got those. And hopefully he takes this on, because confidence restored. Oh, maybe swagger rebooted. We'll see. But it will be absolutely huge for him in these big 4 games coming up. I want to know, who is your second winner?
Enzo Fernandez.
I have him as well. I will let you take the floor.
Yeah, thought it was a really impressive game. I thought control in the midfield, some lovely touches, couple of assists, looked dangerous, picked up good areas. Thought it was a really good, solid performance from him, to be honest.
Yeah, I've bloody hell, why did I have him? He's heating for me. He's heating up right now like a microwave meal. He's got 2 assists in the game. He's pulling strings like a puppet master. And finally, especially this back half of the season, he's looking like the £100+ million man that we thought we were unwrapping last year. Not the budget version we seem to have been scratching our heads over last year. And he honestly, he owned that right hand final third like he had his name on the lease. Because if you think I'm exaggerating, I looked at the heat map. It was like someone had set fire to that side of the pitch. The eye test passed, the stat sheet approved, and you know what? I feel like if we've got any chance of winning our final 4 Premier League games, it's going to require Enzo in this form, silky sharp, showing up. What a turnaround! He's done a Cucurella. He has done a Cucurella this season. Because a lot of us called him. Like I'd almost at the start of the season, if Real Madrid had been sniffing around and let's just say hypothetical, they break all protocol that they've now got and they bid 100-odd million. I feel some fans would say, yeah, take it, cash out. Now, I don't think anyone would even look towards Real Madrid if they put 200 million on the table. Our ownership might, I'd hope not. I don't think the fans would though. Oh no.
I still think there's a portion it would, because there's this big thing about Lavia. Like everyone seems to think that he's going to get new legs over the summer, I think.
Well, he's got our immune system, so he's definitely not going to be fit at all next season.
Yeah.
It's the thing. Lavia is a game changer. Lavia is a top class player. That was never ever in question. It's just fitness. And you know, if you can't stay fit,
I wouldn't sell Enzo and back Lavia.
No,
because one of the biggest things about Enzo is he's always available.
Yeah,
he's not made of glass, which helps.
No, that's the thing. We'll wait and see on that. So we just have to wait, because we never know with Romeo Lavia. That's the thing. My final winner. I wonder if we've got the same. I've got Brentford.
No.
Right. Because that win over Forest wasn't just big, it was massive in that race for the top 5. And I'd go as far as saying that their 2-0 win last night was just as important as our 4-1 win. We're level on points. We're suddenly, unexpectedly, the top 5's in our own hands. And Forest, they've looked out of sorts for a while now. They look a team that's run out of gas and is coasting off the track. Momentum matters. It matters so much. Right now, we've got it. You have to keep hold of that. And then I read about Arne Slot saying, oh, yeah, we're going to rotate. And you start going, oh, hello, advantage. You've got to take it. I know we were going to preview it in a bit. You've got to take this. Were you shocked by that result?
Not really, no, because I've been saying to people for the last few weeks, as soon as Forest dropped out of the top four, I don't think they'll ever get back in it. I think what was holding them in there, the performances, was the fact that they was holding on to that top four space. I think as soon as they dropped out, like almost the motivation's gone. They was never expected to be there, and now they're not in there. Their season will just drift away, I think.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I think tonight, obviously, we won't know until it's 16 minutes played and it's 0-0 between City and Wolves. I'm not feeling that's a gimme for City because you trust me, I've seen Wolves play. I know they've played mostly the bottom teams, as it was pointed out on the show on Monday. However, I wouldn't rule them out because they are in good form, and again, momentum matters so much. I'm hoping that they do us a favour. I really am, because if they did, Man City are on 62 with a game extra than us. And I'm thinking, hello, that's the thing. Who's your final winner?
Enzo Maresca.
Oh, look at that agenda, listener. Look at it. Where is it? Exactly.
Back end of the season, results matter more than performances. And no matter which way you look at it, we've won 2 games in a row in the league, plus this game, so 2.5 games in a row. And I also think he's a winner because I think he's incredibly lucky.
Oh.
I think he's incredibly lucky that we're in this competition. I think if we wasn't in this competition, our season would have gone drastically differently. Because when we was in a run of losing a couple of games, you'd go and play someone like Noah and win 8-0. And it just stops that run of losing. Whereas I think if we was in the Europa League, for example, playing harder teams, that run probably would have continued. Or if we wasn't in Europe at all, I think he would have really struggled to keep this squad happy.
Yeah.
And I also think he's getting incredibly lucky with the things like you just said. Nottingham Forest running out of steam. Villa having their focus on the Champions League and then the FA Cup. And then they went out of both them competitions, so that demoralised them a little bit. You know, are they going to go and win their last 4 games? Because they look a little bit dead on their feet now as well. I think he's going to scrape his way into the top and getting lucky in the fact that 5th spot gets Champions League this season,
did it?
Because it didn't last season. So I do think he's got incredibly lucky, and I think he's going to scrape his way into Champions League qualification. I'm probably in the minority here, but I don't see that as a massive positive, if I'm truthful. I think you've seen from this season that we can qualify for the Champions League all we like, but if we stick with the transfer policy, we'll be out of the Champions League by Christmas. We're not ready for the Champions League. This squad isn't ready for the Champions League. The squad under this manager isn't ready for the Champions League. The manager's not ready for the Champions League. You know, you watch our game that we're talking about right now, and then the night before you've watched Barcelona Inter. If we played Barcelona or Inter Milan, it would be embarrassing. If we played Barcelona, it would be like what they did to the women.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. I mean, Inter and Barcelona, that could be a Champions League final itself, because both teams are just, it's insane that we could be talking about an Inter Milan like team that might win not a trophy. That in itself, usually it's like, yeah, but there's better teams. Inter Milan have arguably been the best team in Italy and one of the best teams in the Champions League. However, there's only one trophy to go around in the Champions League, and Napoli have also, you know, depending on where the Inter Milan focus has been, Napoli have just simply, they're not in European competition, and Antonio Conte does Antonio Conte things when, you know, you're not in European competition. So
he really does.
That's the thing. I can understand your argument. I can. I guess we'll move to losers. And we're going to have the same player. I'm not stupid. I know we've both got the same player on it. Where do we go? Where do we go with Cole Palmer? It is Cole Palmer, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Look, it's another game. It's another David Copperfield act, as I call it. If he keeps this, if he keeps it up, we're going to have to bring back the whole putting a player on a carton of milk and saying missing. I feel like this is deja vu for me because it's the same sad story, and I have to put him on the loose. He looks lost. He looks out of ideas. He looks like someone's just replaced all of his charisma and swagger with dial-up internet. And I know he got an assist, and credit where it's due.
No, he didn't.
I thought he was given to him.
No, yeah, it was, but I don't see how you can be given an assist for an overhit pass that hit 3 players and then went in the goal.
Yeah, okay. Look,
it hit the keeper, the defender, and then Jackson. Like how his pass did not make that goal. His pass was poor. His pass was it should have been the goalkeeper's all day. And if you're playing against a goalkeeper who has
not a real keeper,
if you're playing against a real goalkeeper, they just pick it up and everyone goes, that's a shit pass, that is.
We said that in the Discord. It was so funny because we're just watching it live and we're like, how has he done that? What's he done? Oh, man. Look, with Palmer, though, for me, I hold him to a standard because this is a guy who was our talisman last season. He was our maverick. He created. And the one thing... He was the one who made things happen when nothing was going on. And now he's just drifting through games like a ghost at a seance. And it's hard to watch because I know he's got such a talent. And I still believe that the top player's in there. But right now, needs a break. Sit him down, let him reset, bring him on as an impact sub. Because right now, we're in a crucial run. And we cannot afford to carry passengers, even if they once drove the whole bus. Palmer, I'm sorry, you need that rest. I don't know whether that's right or wrong. I'm not the manager. I never will be. I just think he needs a rest.
I think with Palmer, and this will either be something that ages really well or really poorly, and I really hope it ages really poorly. I think Cole Palmer's 10 games away from being a one-season wonder.
Oh, my soul. Yeah, I can see your argument. He's in team of the season, by the way.
Yeah, I don't get me started on that. If he doesn't do anything in our last 4 games, and then he doesn't do anything in the first 6 games of next season, I think then you're looking at a player who had one wonderful season and nothing more.
He has got 22 goal contributions this season.
He has, but when was his last one?
Well, last night. No, I know what you mean.
Yeah, but a last real one.
I think we're going back. Hang on,
didn't he make a goal? He got one. He got one assist, didn't he? Wasn't it for Enzo Fernandez's header against somebody a couple of weeks ago?
Ipswich Town, Spurs, and then
Tottenham. That's the one I was thinking of.
Then Bournemouth, the goal in January, and it was it's. So
when was the last time he scored a goal?
Last time he scored a goal, he last scored a goal against. You know when. Bournemouth, January 14th.
Yeah. January, that is horrendous.
For him.
And I know, and don't get me wrong, I still rate Cole Palmer. I still think he's a wonderful player. But there's been plenty of wonderful players who have had a really good season and you've never seen them again.
Yeah.
And I think Cole Palmer's got to be really careful. I was very, very quick and vocal about blaming Maresca for Cole Palmer's poor form. But I do think, as much as I still think it's a problem, and I don't think they're a match made in heaven at all, I think when you're looking at 15, 16, 17 games, the focus has to switch to the player then. Because, yes, the system might not suit you, but if you're as talented as he is, you should still be having an impact on a game. Just because you're playing on the left side now instead of the right side, I don't know why all of a sudden you can't do anything on that side of the pitch. It's bizarre. I think he's got to start taking some responsibility himself as well for his performances. And I don't think his body language is great. I don't think he looks very confident. There was one yesterday where he got the ball centre of the pitch, just inside our half around the centre circle. And he went to go past the player and he beat the player. Then his next touch was really heavy and he just lost it to the player the next defender. And I thought, what is he doing there? And then he had that effort where the ball fouled to him on the edge of the box and he hit it straight down the middle of the goal. And you think, Jesus, come on, man. You're not even looking likely to do anything at the minute. I just think it's really bizarre. I don't think he's putting himself now in the right positions either. I think he's coming very deep now, getting on the ball and playing the first pass in a move, and he's almost shying away now from the box because he doesn't want to miss chances. And I think that's the biggest problem I have with Palmer at the minute. At least, you look at someone like Jackson, when he's gone on droughts, people have always talked about him missing chances, which means he's still in there to miss them. No one's talking about Palmer missing chances because he's not there. When was the last time you seen him have a really good chance and you thought, oh, he should be scoring that? It was weeks ago. I think it was, who was it we played and he went through one-on-one in the opening minute and hit the keeper.
Oh, I don't think
that was a real game either. And I think that's the issue at the moment. And there was another moment in this game where I think might have been Tyreek George. We had a breakaway and George tried to find Jackson with the pass instead of Palmer, and it got cut out. And Palmer just stood on the edge of the box, throwing his arms up in the air, walking back. And I thought it just doesn't look great at the moment.
I think for some reason I seem to be talking about Blackburn Rovers from the noughties a lot recently. David Dunn and David Bentley. I'm going to do it again. Two players that went into Blackburn, played really well in that one season and then just dropped, and everyone thought, what's going on here? Benny McCarthy and Roque Santa Cruz. I just don't want him to turn out like those two because he's got higher ceiling, of course. There, it doesn't matter because if you don't live up to it, you don't live up to it. Oh, this is a rare thing for me to do. Bit of breaking news. We have got an actual solid report. I'm going to butcher his name, but it's Sky Cavier's reported this, but Mike Vervey is reporting, very reliable source for Ajax stuff, is reporting that Chelsea are in talks with Ajax for Hato.
Another young defender, just what we need.
Yeah, he's a good player, but again, young defender.
Yeah.
Well, I brought it up. I'm going to do my second loser because I've got 5 words to describe this one. I got clean sheets. Easily explained, Chris. Didn't keep one.
Yeah, we should have.
Oh, we should have. I was not happy.
In fairness, I think we was lucky in the end that they only scored one.
They had too many chances.
After the fourth goal, I think they should have scored 3. After we went 4-0 up, I think they should score 3 goals. They scored one. That bloke missed an absolute sitter at the back post with the goal open. He managed to put it in the stand. I don't know how. And then they had another chance where Jorgensen made a good save. Honestly, it could have been a very different game.
That's the thing.
And considering we talk about Maresca wants to set us up to have control over games, well, we went 4-0 up and we had no control over the game.
I must admit, I was watching Isaac Mulugeti and I just thought, Swedish, so straight away I'm happy if we sign him, or Scandinavian. But he's 18 and he had a decent game, and I just thought, you got to be careful, mate. You'll be getting bought by us.
Yeah.
You know what Todd Bowley's like? It's like 18. Potential. Get him in. He had a good game.
Get him loaned to Strasbourg.
Yeah, he had a really decent game. So, who was your second loser?
The Europa Conference League.
Oh, no, poor competition.
What? Absolutely dreadful. Like, how is a team like this in a semi-final of a competition? But do you know what? I don't blame the competition. I blame us for being in it. I think it's a mockery. I think it's made an absolute mockery of the competition. I really do. And an out of form Chelsea team has made this look like the Audi Cup in pre-season. The games aren't enjoyable because they're not games. You know, as much as it sounds funny, they're really not real games. Like, you can't get excited about these games. I was watching the game last night and I thought, there's nothing exciting about this. We should absolutely batter this team because they are nowhere near our level. It'd be like if a championship team rocked up in your Sunday league, no one would go, oh wow, what a team they are. Everyone would go, why the fuck are they playing here?
David Nugent's just scored 4 past us and he's like 40.
Yeah. You just think, well, you shouldn't be here. This competition is way below the standard of your team. And I just thought as a competition, it's us being in it has done it more harm than good.
We are the strongest team that's ever been in this competition, and you are right. If let's just say, Fiorentina have been like in every final bar one.
Yeah,
I feel like they have. I feel like they've been in every final.
They've been in the last 2. They lost to Olympiacos last year, and they lost to West Ham the year before.
I mean, if they won it, it's huge. When Roma won it, huge. West Ham, huge. Chelsea, just we win it as expectation, and I don't think it will be treated seriously by anyone. And that's, in a way, that's belittling the competition for what it was created for, and it is a bit of a shame.
I do hate now as well, though, the fact that. Do you remember in the summer? I remember specifically talking about it on the pod, about this competition, and all the talk was, I wouldn't play any of the first team in this competition. I'd play just the youth team. We shouldn't be in it. It's a Mickey Mouse competition. We shouldn't be taking it seriously. I'm not going to watch any of it, is what fans were saying. I'm not going to watch us in that competition because we shouldn't be in it. Now we might get to the final. And people who want to really back Enzo Maresca, it's like, oh, he's going to win a European trophy. He deserves more time. He's winning a European trophy. You weren't calling it a European trophy in the summer, mate. You was calling it nothing in the summer. And that's exactly what it is. It's really pissing me off as well, the fact that the Chelsea admin keep putting up things like, oh, we've set a record. We've set a European record for 6 away wins in a row. It doesn't count. Don't count these games. What are we doing? It's so disrespectful, though, to the other Chelsea teams and managers that have played in real European competitions, that they have lost a record for the most away wins in a row in Europe. They've lost that record to this team in this competition. Yeah. It's just absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I'll round out my final loser. I've got the 3 Arena. Because that pitch was like me after a few drinks. Embarrassing. I couldn't believe that was what the fuck. That's a major stadium.
It's a bad pitch when even the home team hate it.
That's a major stadium in Stockholm. It didn't look it. It didn't look it.
No.
Which is not the first time we said that in this competition. That should be a new one. Not the first time, and certainly not the last time. A pitch in this competition has been shit. I don't know what's going on. Stamford Bridge has been the only decent crowd. Oh, Chris, who's your final loser?
Me.
Oh, no. Is it because you had to turn up today?
No, it's because I'm going to have to suffer another season of Maresca in charge. Because he's going to win this competition and everyone's going to lose their fucking mind over it, even though no one cared a jot about it until we might win it. And we're somehow going to scam top 5 because Liverpool have got nothing to play for, and all the other teams will keep dropping points because they're not in good form either. They're going to scam top 5, qualify for the Champions League, and he's going to be here again. And I'm going to have to sit here and suffer, not just watching this team play, but also those insufferable people online who will be like, "Say, I was right. You've got to give him time." And then I'm just going to sit patiently until Christmas, when we're 8th, been knocked out the Champions League, and everyone's going, oh, "He's got to go. He's got to go." I think he's had enough time now. Yeah, he had enough time a year ago, mate. Let's be honest. He's had enough time now. We could sack him today, and no one would lose any sleep over it in a month. I think I said this in our chat.
Mm-hmm.
We are Man United, and if you look at where Man United are now, that's where we will head if we keep backing managers just because they win something. You know, they did it with Ollie. They was going to sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Then he had that really weird season where they happened to finish second, but was never going to win the league. There was like 15, 17 points off the title. They was never win the league, but they managed to finish second. And they went, oh, hold on then. Let's give him another year. And then 8 months in, they sacked him. Yeah. And then they went to Ten Hag and they was going to sack him. Then he won the FA Cup and they went, oh, hold on, give him some time. Maybe we're wrong. He's won a trophy. They gave him more time and eventually sacked him. And it's left them where they are now, 15th. Yes, they're probably going to win the Europa League. Fair play to them. But you look at their league form and the rebuild job there now is absolutely massive. And ours will be similar. We will back this manager and he will take us nowhere and we'll be back to square one again. And it's not, you can't just look at it in black and white of, has he won something? This trophy shouldn't count because this competition would have been won if he hadn't turned up.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I've got bad news. Man City just went 1-0 up and Wolves have had the better chances.
Yeah, we're not finishing above City. They'll win every game between now and the end of the season.
Yeah. What was your emoji though for this one? You know what? I decided I went with headphones or microphone emoji because the match day chat was incredible on our Discord. Honestly, sharing that game with our listeners for me was a win. You know, real win. It was all right football. Yeah, 4-1. It's worse things have happened.
We actually played quite well. I'm not disputing the fact that we played well, by the way. I know people will be out there being, oh, it's being really negative. We won 4-1. No, we actually played quite well. I'm just saying we should play well. They are absolutely dog shit.
That is true. I love the company. You know, I had Paul, I had Chris in there, and some other people joined, and it was just great. I've really enjoyed it. Need to do that again as well. What's your emoji?
You know the one where the bloke's like slapping himself on the forehead.
Fuck's sake.
Because I honestly couldn't believe how bad they was. Like Legia Warsaw was 10 times the team that they were.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
They should, and they deserve to be in the semi-final more than these. Like they was embarrassingly bad. That one defender as well, the one who kicked it into his own net and then took it off his own goalkeeper. You just think, what are you doing, mate?
So good. Oh, right. It's just so good. Lion of the week and Djurgarden. Berth had Tyreek George. I had Sancho. Ollie had Dewsbury Hall. The wheel had Palmer. Have I just netted another win?
Yes, you have.
Because he scored and he was decent. Who do you think? We got to give it Jackson, haven't we?
Yeah, it's got to be Jackson.
It would be Enzo Fernandez was close. Jackson,
yeah, definitely.
Jackson was very, very good. So, oh my word, we're playing Liverpool, aren't we? Because yes, Super Sunday, we're welcoming them to the bridge. So what's the state of Liverpool? Well, they're currently Premier League champions. They're sitting cozy in first. They have a record of 25 wins, 7 draws, 2 defeats. Recent form is 4 wins and 1 loss. Who should we be keeping an eye on in this one? We always do a player spotlight. I'm not sure, Chris, if you or our listeners have heard of this player, but he's been a little bit going under the radar this season. It's Mo Salah. That's Mo Salah, if you didn't know that name.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's just only got 28 goals this season. He's just signed a new deal as well. He's one to watch, I think. And the last time Liverpool beat Chelsea in the Premier League at the Bridge was on the 20th of September 2020. Wouldn't be a preview without me telling you what was the UK #1 hit when this last happened. It was WAP by Cardi B feat Megan Thee Stallion. I'd never heard of it. I gave it a listen.
Awful song.
Won't be listening to it ever again.
Yeah.
So with that, I don't know where to go with this. Who are you picking? I don't.
Caicedo.
You think it's going to be that kind of game?
Well, it's got to be. I know Liverpool have said that they're going to rotate, but I still think their rotated team is decent, to be fair.
I'm torn between Enzo and Sancho. Enzo and Jackson, if I'm honest. I'm going to... Oh, well, that's stupid. Why have I... Oh, no, it's... The wheel's gone baggy as shield. He won't play.
Well, he won't play. Silly wheel.
Stupid wheel. I'm going to stick with... I'm going to go Jackson. I'm confident. Who have we got?
Well, could this be the return of Cole Palmer?
The wheel went Cole will. So it's thinking what you're thinking. But it also picked Palmer and thought in the week. Palmer will do all right against, good old Djurgarden. It didn't. You were wrong, Will.
No.
Stupid Will. So we'll go to Quaresma's questions. Let's see what I've got on the good old phone in front of me. Blue is the colour pod. Oh, nice little plug there. You got your pod on there.
Very nice. Well played.
Yes. Is Nicolas Jackson back? Is Maresca to Cole what Potter was to Mount? And can we beat Fiorentina or Betis? Fuck me, that's a lot of good questions there. Is Jackson back? I'll wait to Liverpool. I want to see how he takes, like, 2 goals, incredible. I want to see if he starts to, it doesn't have to score against Liverpool, but if we can see his confidence is there, I'd say, he's back.
I agree.
Maresca to Cole. Potter is such an overrated manager. Like, he sucks at West Ham. He was awful at us. I just think he's did great abroad. I'm not going to knock him for that. But he was all right at Brighton. They did better under De Zerbi and they're Houser at the moment. I just think he's overrated, Potter is.
Was it Potter who started Mount's downfall?
I think Mount started his own downfall.
Yeah, I feel as though Mount was already shit when Potter came in, to be honest. But I suppose the real question is Maresca a bad manager for Cole Palmer? And I think the answer to that is yes.
Oh, yeah. The Fiorentina and Betis thing.
It depends. It depends which Chelsea turn up. I think if we turn up anywhere near our best, we're too strong for those teams. But if we turn up at 50%, I don't think we beat them.
Agreed.
I think, although I think Betis are the stronger team, I'd rather play them in the final because I just don't think. I think Fiorentina would be so adamant that they're not going to lose a 3rd final in a row.
They're getting very close to the Buffalo Bills of the 90s territory. 4 Super Bowls in a row, 4 defeats.
Yeah. So I'd rather play Betis, I think.
I like that. I do like that argument, actually. Funnily enough, talking of Super Bowls, Paul, would you rather talk Super Bowl history during the Conference League matches? I personally, I would. It'd be sometimes more entertaining than what we've had to.
I'd rather watch paint dry.
Oh, that's also good. That's also good. Yeah. Jacob, thoughts on Hullet with the lads on the overlap pod? Couldn't agree more. We've lost our DNA. You know what? I saw people react to the fact that Todd Bow didn't know who he was. I doubt. Look, I get that. As much as that sounds, Mike, don't support the Bowley thing with this. I'm not supporting him. I understood him not understanding who Hullet was purely because I don't think Roman Abramovich knew many of the players from, like, say, the 80s. If we're looking at it in eras from, like, how long ago Hullet played for us, did Abramovich know who Osgood was? Ron Chopper Harris? I doubt it. I really doubt it.
You know what? I do think that's fair, and I think that comes from a place of people of my age, especially. We still think that the 90s was like 10 years ago.
I fully understand that feeling.
It was 30 years ago.
Fucking madness.
30, 40 years ago. So you think, yeah, it's probably fair that he doesn't really know about that, because that would have been like Abramovich took over in 2003. That would have been like asking him about players from the 60s.
Yeah, like I said, Osgood, Chopper Harris, Benetti.
Yeah, he's not gonna know. No. And he probably did learn about them as it went on. But there hasn't really been any reason for Bowley to look into what Ruud Gullit did for Chelsea. So I kind of get it from both sides. I think he should know who he is, and I don't know how that meeting managed to happen and him not be pre-warned who it was.
That is just poor PR on their side. Like, come on, you're the kings of PR. Did no one prep you and go, Todd, you might want to know, just quick little chat GPT's help me out here. Look at this, just read it.
Read what it's about. So if you meet him,
if we've lost
what he did.
If talking of, a time ago, I found today, 19 years ago, something along that line the other day, or it might have been today, Joe Cole scored that goal against Manchester United. And I'm like, oh,
what a goal.
Oh, on that topic, have we lost our DNA? I feel like the Abramovich DNA of win no matter what and that sort of standard, that's gone.
Yes, 100%.
I mean, we can't say it's not. And people go, "Are you crying for him?" No, I can't argue that those times were better. I can't argue that they weren't.
No, and do you know what? I completely understand where people are coming from. I really do. When people say that, this is your club, you should support them no matter what, and I absolutely get that. But we're almost unrecognisable now from the club that we were. And if you're of a generation where you lived through that, this is utter shit. Like, it's the equivalent of you've been with your partner for 20 years, and then they go away, and then they come back, and they are a completely different person. They look different, they act different, they treat you different. If you started to get annoyed about that, I don't think anyone would say anything, because they'd be like, yeah, fair enough. And that's what it's like. It's the exact equivalent of that. Like, the club went away for one summer, they came back, and it was like, who's this?
Yeah.
It's like, that's your club. No, it's not.
I know what you mean.
This one who's signing championship players. Yeah. And they're selling all the good players. Yeah. That's the one. Yeah.
Oh,
and that's celebrating finishing 5th. Yeah. That I don't like that.
I know what you mean. No Learn Army today, because obviously it wouldn't be fair. So, listeners, that's the end.
So I win.
Yeah, you win, Chris. Default. Well done. Great performance today. I was really impressed when you got everyone spot on. Look, we're at the end of the episode. Before we go, of course, proud to remind you about our partnership with Head in the Game, the mental health charity using football to support the well-being and community. Check them out, headinthegame.co.uk. Treat yourself well, listener. We'll be back on Monday with winners and losers from, Chelsea and Liverpool. Very interesting. See how that plays out. So, till next time, that will be us signing off.
You've been listening to At The Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching for At The Bridge Pod. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leaving us a review is always appreciated.